All right. Another thing I want to talk about, especially when it relates to information exchange, is that there are varying levels of techniques in which um, people are persuading you. Because anytime you're exchanging ideas or information and actively discussing anything, if they see one thing and you see a different thing, they're going to try to persuade you into believing in what they believe or in knowing what they know, however you want to put it. And you could definitely see these with motivational speakers and people of this nature because all of a sudden, and religion, religion uses these techniques like fucking crazy. Um, First, they're gonna put the person in a position of power. Like, for instance, the ancients knew very well that you could intimidate people by merely the buildings you had. I mean, why the fuck do you think they made these fucking huge ass buildings? They didn't really need all that space. Nowadays we're like compartmenting our fucking space. Like these office buildings are cramped, but there's huge amount of space in them. And the reason, though, is that you feel small, you feel weak, and they're put on this grand throne, and it makes them look more powerful, it makes them look more important. You are lower, they are higher up. They know more than you, or whatever. So you're gonna see a lot of people, especially with like, things like The Secret, and, all these fucking other like sort of like I would say documentaries, but they're not really. They're basically just trying to persuade you into some bullshit belief. And I really love it with like Donnie Darko, for instance. If you ever seen Donnie Darko, Patrick Swayze, um, plays this character as this motivational speaker, and he tries to put everything in this paradigm of human emotion of fear and love. Like everything's fear and love. Well, first off, that's a logical fallacy of the false dichotomy. There are actually more human emotions than fear and love. Um, you're boxing everything into just two categories when really there's a wide range of categories. So, one, they're going to oversimplify things. That's total bullshit. I think the more simple the answer, this was a really good one, for instance, God's Debris, another great book. He talks about how the simplest answer sounds the best, but usually is the most incorrect. Because the most complex answer is going to have the most information. I mean, think about the Civil War, for instance. Was the Civil War caused by slavery? The Civil War was only caused by slavery. Not any of this other shit. But I mean, a complex answer was like, well, actually, there was trade. Difference in trading and money and fucking. Then there was slavery, and then there was like land and all this other fucking concepts that are going to. And this is not going to be about the Civil War. So, anyways, um, varying techniques though, and different persuasions, especially amongst videos and all these other things, is they're going to use music. Like all of a sudden, especially with Patrick Swayze, all of a sudden you can hear it's like chime in emotional music right here, and then all of a sudden it's like I know a lot of people are going to be feeling fear right now, and then like the piano starts playing. And these are all techniques in order to persuade you. And you really have to recognize that. I mean, a lot of conspiracy videos, you watch Zeitgeist, you watch any of these fucking conspiracy videos, they're all using like eerie, creepy music. It's like, come on. I mean, the reason why they're doing that is to put you in a mindset that you're actively taking in that information and not scrutinizing what they're talking about. So I think to be very cautious and to scrutinize really any information that you take in is a very productive and good trait to have. Because you know what? A lot of people are gullible as fuck. And gullibility is just it's not a good attribute to have. So if something is true, I always say, if something is true, it should be able to defend itself. It should have evidence to back it up. And if there's counterpoints to that, you should take those counterpoints in. And if those counterpoints can't completely destroy that argument or idea, then you have to refine that idea. And that's really what science is all about. So these different concepts, these different people are trying to make the world into a nice little fucking box. That this one guy read, randomly just through comments or something. He's like, when will the world learn that you can't, put all the great information and knowledge in some neat little 1999, dollar fucking book. It's like only yours for 19.95. It's like, come on, man. They're selling you shit. Whenever when someone's giving you information for free, like it's probably a little bit more legit than people who are trying to sell shit to you because money will always incorporate the greed factor. And I think that's kind of another thing I've noticed where like people are trying to sell their book all the time, and that book may be good, but it's just like you're constantly trying to sell it. And I think books are kind of an old form of information anyways. But yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to kind of go over. If you notice these things are going on, like for instance, I'm not going to be using any music in my videos. This is pure information. These are purely my opinions or thoughts or whatever. But I'm not going to try to fucking deceive you. I'm not going to try to. I don't give a fuck if you believe in what the fuck I believe or know or whatever word you want to describe that. Um, because if I figure everything out, it's just kind of like you know I'm going to interact with you differently. But whatever. I want to help people out, but it's not necessary if you actually believe what I believe. I'm just trying to help people think differently and try to get them to understand that the majority of the things they believe is probably bullshit. Um, that's another thing I want to briefly glance over is urban legends. For instance, people will think that something is true because they heard it from multiple sources. And that can be another one for the internet. But things go both ways, so always remember that too. But especially with urban legends, for instance, there's this urban legend going around that like, Mr. Rogers, that guy who played, in that PBS show where he has this nice little kid show. Nice guy and everything. I used to watch him back in the day. I loved his voice. I mean, he's the softest voice you've ever heard. And people were saying he was a Marine sniper. The reason why he had those sleeves was because he had these tattoos and stuff. And I heard it from like 6, 7 different people, and I was like, that's interesting. And this was before I really developed some of my different ways of thinking. And you kind of just go like, oh yeah, and then you pass that on as if it was true, even if it wasn't. And just because you heard it multiple times, you just assume it's true. And I think assumptions are very dangerous. And yeah, I mean, you even look that up briefly on Google, and all of a sudden it's like, no, that's complete bullshit. So anytime you hear random shit from your friends, look it up, man. I mean, GFE. That's what we always say here in our apartment. Google fucking exists. Use it. People all the time ask me like, what the fuck does paradigm mean? It's like, it takes you 5 seconds to look that up. Literally. Like maybe 10. Google is there to help you. So if you never understand like a word I'm using or some shit, just look it up. If I didn't explain it well, look it up. This should be a supplementary to a supplement to your information, to your education. This should never be a sole source of information. Don't even take everything that I even have to that I say as truth or fact. I mean, I could be fucking wrong, So, um, scrutinize me, right now. Even if it sounds true, like try to pick out, different logical fallacies, different errors, and maybe even my own thinking. So yeah, I think that was a nice little snippet of information, and I think we're gonna try to do a different sort of uh, end take because since we live in San Diego, I think we're gonna use that Ron Burgundy. Stay classy, San Diego. All right. Anyways, peace, love, and all that good stuff.